Sometimes you just gotta go bar down.
Kirill, top titty 2x4 to end the game. That was nice.
Bar down beauties.
That's the sexy part of the game, is it not? The plays and the goals and the...
Yeah, that's what you guys like. I mean, it is great.
And now, a new episode of Bar Down Beauties with Jesse Pierce and Kirsten Kroll. Hello, everybody. What's up? We are back. Another episode of Bar Down Beauties, episode 279 to be exact. I'm Jesse Pierce, writer for NHL.com, co-hosting with Kirsten Kroll, in-arena host for your Minnesota Wild, as well as your Minnesota Frost. And joining us, Michela Cava, the superstar, one of the many superstars on this Frost team that is looking for back-to-back championships. Michela, how are we doing this morning?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited. So it's a good morning so far. Excited to get back on the ice today.
And you guys are in Ottawa, right? Because that's who we're facing. That's who we're looking to take down. Both lower seeds advancing out of the semis, making it to the championship. Just how exciting is this matchup going to be?
Yeah, I think it's going to be obviously a pretty gritty series. We're super excited. And obviously we weren't totally expecting to match up against them, obviously being the lower seeds, like you said, but it's going to be pretty fun, and they have a pretty fun barn to play in, so we're excited.
And when you reflect back on last season when you guys won the cup, there was no quit in your group, and there's a lot of similarities this season too, as you guys made a push late, and then even just first round of the playoffs to where you are now. What do you think that says about the Minnesota Frost as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, we just love to win, and I think we have another competitive side that comes out in these moments, and you could really see that we just come together as a group, and everybody's doing all the little jobs to try and get us through these hard games that obviously matter at the end of the day. So I think we all really want to win, and we know we have a little taste of it from last year, and we're just trying to do everything we can to try and get there again. So.
Just how hard was it coming into this year with that target on your back, being the inaugural championships? Obviously, everyone's gunning for you guys. And how did you guys handle some of that adversity?
Yeah, I think just like through obviously like the coaches and leadership just tried to calm us down. And we knew we had to win those two last games of the season. And I think that maybe helped us out to get prepared for the way that we would have to commit and grind through these playoff games too. So I think that kind of helped us a little bit this year compared to last year when we were waiting to see if we'd make it in or not. But yeah, just everybody's really, really dialed in right now, and it's pretty fun to be a part of this group. So.
And as far as the postseason too, winning is fun, obviously, but what is your favorite personal part about making it to this time of year?
Yeah, I think for me, I got lucky enough to win a few years back, and there's just no feeling like it. So I feel like as soon as you get to playoffs, it's a special time, and another side of competitiveness comes in play. And yeah, I can't talk right now, it's too early.
It happens to the best of us. It's fine. I can't say humiliate sometimes, if that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I just feel like another side of you comes into play, and it's super fun to be a part of the playoffs, and it's a privilege, and I just think it's so fun to be out there this time of year. And once you get a little taste of victory, you never want to stop, and I think that's a big thing around this time of year. It's just so fun to compete against these teams at this time of season. So.
Yeah, as you said, all you do is win. You won the Isabel Cup MVP. You in particular seem to rise to another level. Of course, all your teammates too. But I love watching you in the playoffs in these big pressure moments. Is there a different switch that turns on? I'm sure, as you'd mentioned, a lot of athletes, a lot of competitors are going to do that. But what is it for you that really invigorates you come this time of year?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I just hate to lose. So I just feel like at the end of the day, try and leave everything out there every game. More importantly, in the playoffs, just try to give it my all. So when I get back to the locker room, I'm not upset with my play and don't feel like I could have done more out there. So obviously, when it comes down to these 5-game best of 5 series, you basically have 3 games to give it everything you have. And I really tried to do that in every way I play, whether it's like defensively or trying to get like good stick on pucks and put put girls through the wall. Even though I'm small, I try to be a little bit feisty if I can. But yeah, just trying to do everything to show the girls that we're like to play the right way, and that's how we're gonna end up winning the games at the end of the day. So.
And everybody has a different answer to this too, and some people deny it. So I'm interested to see what you're going to say here. Especially again, playoffs. Do you have any superstitions or anything that's part of your routine you have to follow, can't skip it on game day?
I don't know. I'm not that. I guess I'm like not really that superstitious, but I'm trying to think if there's anything. Like I kind of have like a routine. Like when we get to the rink, I have this game that I used to play when I played over in Russia with some the Chinese girls. They had like this feather. It's kind of like a hacky sack. So I brought in some of the girls to play that game, and now we do that before every game.
How do you play it? Do you play it like hacky sack?
Yeah, like go in a circle and you like basically kick it up, and instead of it like it just like kind of like floats more in the air. But the girls love it now, so we have a group of maybe like 8 of us that play, and I guess that's what I look forward to the most, to play that with them before we start our off ice warm up. And I guess just like the usual, like taping your stick and stuff. But I try not to like be like I need to do everything a certain way. I just feel like I get in my head too much. So I do a few things before we get on the ice with the water bottle, giving some of the girls spray water into their mouth, and a couple of the trainer and the coach. And I started doing some things like that, but otherwise I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't need to like have it after the second. So
what about tunes? Like what are we jamming to? What's the vibe?
Yeah, we're like all over the place. We do a little country to start, and we have a couple different girls that like to be on the aux. So no one's really like picked. Like if somebody wants to have it, they could have it for the day. Like no one's gonna kick them off or anything like that. But
well, there's nobody that we can't allow to have the aux, so there's got to be somebody.
I don't know. I'll just throw. I always throw Brooke Bryant. She's my roommate, so I always throw her under the bus. But she actually has, so I can't really use her. But there's a few girls that never will grab the aux. They're like, no, you don't want to listen to my music. I'm like, how do we know? Like maybe we would, you know? So
yeah. Honestly, I understand that having the aux is a lot of pressure. You're the one people are coming for if it's bad.
So true.
Mainly because I am the one people don't really vibe with all of my stuff. If so you like Taylor Swift, then you can give Kirsten the aux. It's fine.
I'd be into that. But I guess like the
one, my girl.
It would be funny to listen to. I always wonder what like Kendall's music is. I'm like, what do you like to listen to? So I would love to get Kendall on the aux one time. Maybe I'll try sometime.
Does Kendall, is she one of the ones that refuses to play?
Oh, she would never. But I'm just saying, I feel like I would love to know like what she listens to. I just wouldn't know. So I feel like I'm going to try and get her on the aux one day at practice, maybe.
Yeah, please do, because now I'm curious.
Yeah, well, like, she would never let me, but that's we'll give it a try.
She's got mom music is why. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like it'll pop up a bunch of Disney and Coco Melon at some point, and she'll be like, "Oh no." This morning, Michela, they announced the plans for the PWHL expansion, which is so incredibly exciting. Obviously, your focus right now on winning that Walter Cup, but just looking ahead, just how great is it going to be to get 2 additional teams in, and how much is that going to change things, knowing kind of these new rules where you've got protected players, you've got players that are going to be available, similar in a sense to what the NHL has done with the expansion, but just talk about that aspect of the league and growing the game again.
Yeah, I think it's like obviously incredible to be able to add 2 new teams next season and allow more girls obviously to continue to play after college and come over from these. So that's a really cool thing. We're lucky to be able to have that. And I mean, at the end of the day, we obviously know that with the expansion, we know the way it works and that like teams are going to look different next year. But I think at the end of the day, it's just about focusing on what we are doing now as a team and appreciate the last like times we have together. And I don't think it's really impacting us negatively. It's just like we know this could be the last time all of us are together as a group. So let's go get it done and get it done for each other. So
talking about getting it done, what would it mean to you to win back-to-back Walter Cup championships?
Yeah, honestly, I'm trying not to think about it too much, but I'm just excited to be back here. It was a hard series against Toronto, and I'm just super, super excited to be past the first round. And it's just like a privilege to be able to be back fighting for the Walter Cup, and it'd be a huge honor, obviously, to be able to do it back to back. This league is a tough league, and it would be super exciting to be able to do that. But right now, we're just going to try and focus on game one and hope to get the win after that, and then we'll see where it goes. So.
And it took just a little bit longer for the Ottawa-Montreal series to get decided, for you guys to find your opponent. Having just that little bit of extra rest, how huge was that for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's good. You never want too much rest. I feel like you see it kind of backfire sometimes in NHL, and the teams get a week or two off. But I feel like we got a perfect amount of rest. It wasn't too much time, less than a week. So I feel like it was good for us to heal our bodies, get some treatment, and think we're feeling pretty good. We had a couple off days, and it'll be fun to get back on the ice today, practice with the girls, and we'll be firing tomorrow. So
there we go, firing on all cylinders. Game 1 against the Ottawa Charge tomorrow, Tuesday, when you are listening to this, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and then again Thursday once in Ottawa. But you guys are back in action Saturday at XL Energy Center in St. Paul at 4 p.m. Final thoughts, Michela, to the fans, to the crowd, to come out and, again, hopefully see you guys claim a second Walter Cup.
Yeah, we're really excited to be back, especially a Saturday game at 4. I feel like that's a perfect time for everybody to come down, have a good day on Saturday. So we're hoping to pack the arena, and we're really excited to have games 3 and 4 at home. So.
Love it. Let's go. Let's get it. Frost fans, you guys are the best. We know. Michela, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck this week in Ottawa, and we'll see you back here on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You need some merch to represent Rock the Frost, cheer them on as they work to repeat and become back-to-back champs. You can do that with SotaStick. You know we love all the SotaStick merch, and of course they have one that represents the Frost. That's in collaboration with Taylor Heisey and Grace Zumwinkle. The dynamic duo t-shirt represents the black cat, the golden retriever. That is the duo of Zumwinkle and Heisey. They worked with SotaStick to create this one-of-a-kind custom tee that could be yours. Add it to your closet today. Kirsten and I both have one. We love it. We rock it. You should get yours too. As always, don't forget to smash Bar Down Beauties at checkout for 15% off all purchases on SotaStick.com. And go ahead, get your duo t-shirt. Get all your merch needs at SotaStick.com. All right, what's up? We're back. Yes, thank you to Michela and the Frost. Good luck to them as they start the series on the road. It would be pretty sick, Kirsten, to have back-to-back Cup champs here in Minnesota.
It really would. And first time that would have happened in Minnesota sports history. So let's do it. Let's get her done.
It's great that we're just playing hockey in May still in St. Paul.
Actually, I should retract what I said. I believe the Lynx have won back-to-back. So, but Minnesota hockey history.
That's fair. That is fair. Speaking of hockey history, the Toronto Maple Leafs yet again fall in a Game 7, fail to advance out of the second round. Now, I shouldn't be so harsh because Minnesota can't get out of the first round, right? Like, that's the thing. Shout out to the Chargers for chirping on the Wild in their little schedule release video by calling them 8-time first-round runner-ups, which is brilliant. Hang that banner. That's hilarious.
I hope the Wild use that as bulletin board material, because I sure as hell would.
Just catching strays. Like, that's ridiculous. Brilliant and ridiculous. But Toronto, tons of pressure. You saw Mitch Marner kind of lose it after Florida scores 3 very quickly in the second period to jump out to the lead. They eventually win 6-1. An embarrassing loss in Toronto. Once again, the core 4 was primed, poised for a run. They don't have it. And it's possibly, Kirsten, the final time we see Mitch Marner in a Maple Leafs jersey. Now, he is probably the most coveted UFA hitting the market. He's going to be expensive. He's going to be sought after. Great winger, skilled playmaker. Do you want Mitch Marner in a Minnesota Wild jersey? Do you want Bill Guerin to pursue a Mitch Marner?
I want Mitch Marner. I would like Bill Guerin to pursue Mitch Marner. At the end of the day, you mentioned it, he's probably the most coveted free agent this upcoming off season. Or I guess some of us are still in, some of us have been in the off season. Some of us are newly joining us in the off season. Some people, it's still game time. So once the official off season for everyone rolls around, I just don't know if we can afford to pay him what the asking offer is going to be, especially when we are going to pay Kirill Kaprizov.
And I feel like there's a very divisive feeling on Mitch Marner. And, that Maple Leafs fans are kind of crazy, right? Hockey fans in general are kind of crazy. But I do feel like it's either you love him or you hate him. And for whatever reason, a lot of Toronto fans are kind of on the side of, nah, don't want him. I don't understand that. I can't, I'm looking at his stats. I'm looking at what he's been able to achieve and what he's been able to not achieve, right? Like maybe that's the biggest mark is that he and the rest of that core four, which is Austin Matthews, Willie Nylander, and Jonathan Tavares, they kind of disappear a little bit, right? Like you're seeing them held to no points. In the playoffs, Mitch Marner had 2 goals. He did have 11 assists through 13 games. And this year, he's a 63-point guy on the season. And it's actually, 102-point guy on the season. I don't know what I was looking at. That was career playoffs. I was looking at the wrong thing. He's incredible. Why would we not want him? I just don't understand people that don't like him.
I don't know. Toronto's a hard market. Their fans, they have high expectations. And especially understandably, when you talk about the core for Toronto, expectations should be high. This was kind of, I don't even think the writing was kind of on the wall before this season even started. This was the final go must win year for this core. And obviously it's similar to years past, second round exit.
Yeah, exactly. He's only 28, so there's a lot of upside. He continues to get better and better each year. He's a big dog person, Kirsten, which I know really pulls it. Bill Guerin's a big dog person. Maybe that's their connection. Maybe that's where they find love.
Save Mitch from Toronto is all I'm saying. Man, he needs a fresh start.
It was
which I think he's going to be getting.
Yes, right. It was kind of surprising to see Brad Marchand, who has dominated Toronto pretty much his entire career, whether that was with Boston or as of late with Florida. But I did think he said it kind of perfectly. He's like, you Toronto fans are going to be upset with them no matter what. He's like, you guys are never satisfied. There's all this pressure. You guys put this pressure on them when they don't need it, when they don't deserve it. And he's like, the series was a good game. And to be fair, he's right. Like, Toronto does push it to 7. Now, again, in that first round, though, they blow the lead. Like, they can't close out. And I don't know what they've made coaching changes. They've made, GM changes. I don't know what else you can do except, maybe it's the media and the fan base that need to, like, relax a little bit. Is that even a thing? Do you think that affects them as much as it, does?
I think the mental aspect is crucial. And I think the narrative bounce in the second round every single year, whether they say it or not, that sticks in your head. Like, I think, honestly, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I think it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what it is for Toronto.
Yeah, I could see that. Ultimately, I'll take Mitch Marner. You can't afford it, but I'll take him. I'll bring him here happily. I would love it. I think he'd be incredible with Kirill. Kirill can finish. He'd be great with Boldy. Boldy could be back to the finish. I don't care where you put him. Like, put him on the first or second line. I don't care. It'd be great. Give me a good winger. Speaking of additional players to your Minnesota Wild roster, Danila Yurov officially signed his 3-year entry-level contract last week. We kind of did a quick breakdown just on the socials last week as well. Bill Guerin, Kirsten, saying that he wants him at center. Now, Danila Yurov has been playing center as of late, primarily has been a winger. I love that there's a versatility to him. He's tall, he's lanky, but playing center in the NHL is going to be a big jump, a big challenge for him. Do you like that he's putting him at center to start? And does that continue to put more evident writing on the wall that Marco Rossi is probably out of here?
I'm so tired of talking about Marco Rossi right now. I'm going to be honest. Everyone knows where I stand on it. I think it's dumb. It's frustrating. So I'm frustrated to continue to talk about it. It probably does. They're probably going to trade him. I don't know. I think it's so dumb. And you have somebody that's proven themselves and the trajectory is continuing upward. Like, it's dumb. So sure, put Yurov at center, see what happens. I don't know. I don't care at this point. Talk to me in the fall when we can actually see. I don't know. That's where I'm at right now with the Rossi conversation.
I feel I just feel, I just think saying, nope, this is our center, this is what we want, it just kind of felt like, oh, okay, well, your other center's Freddie Gaudreau and Jules Eriksson-Ek, and then you're probably going to get a center in free agency. So ipso facto, it'll be interesting. I do think it's interesting that they want to start him at center when it's a position that he's I mean, he's comfortable with, but not as much as Wing. And I feel like you'd want to set him up for success. Because again, the interesting case with Yurov is there's that European protection clause, right? Where if he comes over here and does not make the Minnesota Wild roster, he cannot be sent to Iowa, but he can go back over to Europe and play, or the KHL, I believe is how that works out. So you hate to say that he's a lock, but it feels like he's got to be a lock. Bill Guerin had gone on to say last week that he has the ability to do a two-way game, but that's the one thing that they want to work on, play that 200-foot game, and has to grow into his body. He was injured heading into the playoffs over in the KHL with his squad. He played, came back a little too soon. He should be ready for camp, but I don't know. I'm very cautious about it because remember how excited we were for Murat Huznadinov? We had heard all about how great he is at center and how great he's going to do in this and that. And again, I go back to he was fine. He was a fine fourth liner. I just anticipated he was going to be be higher up in his role, and he wasn't. So I'm concerned that Yurov is going to be the same thing. Like, we're so excited, but he's really just a fourth line guy.
I think it'll be disappointing if he doesn't pan out. And I think the Wild have put a lot of stock in him. I guess, I don't know. It's interesting decisions, but also that's why I'm not hockey personnel.
Yeah, but we're assistants to the assistants. And I mean, we know things. We just need to tell Bill Gates. He just needs to listen to us more, I think. Like, I would start him at wing. That's exactly what I would say. Like, Billy.
That's what I would do too. So I guess it's if he's not comfortable in the position.
I mean, you can move him, right? I mean, you could play Hartsey up the middle too. It'll be fine. Speaking of expectations, then, David Jiricek, one of the defensemen that Minnesota paid a hefty price to acquire, only to put him in the same position that he has been in almost his entire career. Now, again, there's a need on the blue line. It seems like he should fit in on that blue line. There shouldn't be a problem with John Merrill being free agent, Declan Chisholm probably not being re-signed either. Is it going to be a disappointment if Jiricek isn't on this roster out of camp?
Considering you gave a haul and picks for him, yes. If you don't plan on starting him in the upcoming season, I don't understand. Because we picked him up early last season. He spent pretty much almost full year down in Iowa last year. If you're not going to have him up, it seems like a waste of draft capital.
So much. Like, you paid so much for him. And again, there's all this talk about his offensive upside on the blue line, which John Hines really caters to as a coach, and that's something that he really enjoys to do. I think he has to make it out of camp, and I don't see why he wouldn't. Now, the problem is he's coming back from injury. He got hurt, which obviously he lost a season. I think it was a lacerated spleen, so I'm not sure what the recovery looks like for that. But I don't see a world in which Jiricek is not starting on opening night, I think. If not, then it's a big waste of talent. Like, he's a young kid, sure, but what was the point of paying all that to go get him then?
It's a great question.
Thank you.
I don't know what the point in paying him or paying Columbus all of that for him is if he's not going to play.
Let's just say Jiricek doesn't. Let's just make conversation, all right? We're just gonna talk. Would you rather bring back John Merrill or Declan Chisholm as added insurance on the blue line? It has to be one of those two.
No,
but you have to pick one of
probably
those two.
John. Declan was seemingly non-existent a lot of the times he was in the lineup,
and when he was, it was bad. Like, very
he made a lot more
egregious
mistakes.
Yeah, I'd bring back John. I think that's probably what I would do too. And again, I will say I was first in line to criticize John Merrill last year. This past year was not nearly as atrocious, I didn't think. Right?
He was better this year. He was a lot better this year. He was more consistent, but also, I mean, he also got demoted, essentially, getting healthy scratched a lot more than he'd been used to. I don't think even the year before he had spent much extra time in the press box when he was struggling.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's fair. Let's wrap it with a couple of the cues that we did not get to last week, which I forgot to look at, so we're going to go with that. Ron R. Kirsten wants to know, I want Mitch Marner on the Wild playing with Kirill and a yet-to-be-named center number 1 and Ek as center number 2. What are the chances Marner lands in St. Paul? We just talked about it. If you were to give a percentage, what's your percentage that Mitch Marner is playing here?
20%. I think Bill Guerin's going to go in, see the possibility, test the market, maybe have a few conversations, but ultimately it's going to fizzle out to nothing. We're not going to get him.
Yeah, I'd say probably 15%. Like there's other teams that can pay more. I think Utah has been a front runner for a lot of people. It'd be interesting, but that's what I'd go with. O-Train wants to know, if you had to start an NHL team, what will the team name be and who will coach the team?
It is too early to come up with a name. I have not had coffee.
You could go with your Outlaws.
I was just about to say I'm going to go with the Outlaws because I really wanted the Outlaws.
Yeah. Where are you putting it?
Wyoming.
Okay. Interesting market.
We're going to stay out west. I don't know. I don't know the market out there, but it's a beautiful state that I want to go to. So Wyoming.
I like that. I'm going to go San Fran, and we'll do something. I mean, everything's already golden, right? It's Golden State, and I don't know, an animal of some sort. Whales. It's a terrible name. What a terrible name. I'll put it to a fan vote. It will not be anything very hockey related.
That's a cop-out because you made me. So.
I know. Well, you said, I said whales. I said we'll go with the whales because it's in the coast stuff, the ocean, the whale, I don't know, animals, dolphins, whales. It's nothing intimidating about that. It's a terrible name. Orcas.
I don't think there's orcas off the coast of.
No, I don't think so. Free Willy. I don't know. Let's see, and then the final one from Ron S. about Yurov. You don't see much anymore about Yurov. Do you know if he has recovered from his ankle injury? He finished the KHL season. He was free of his team. Is he coming and trying to make the team? Just seems weird that he doesn't get mentioned much. To that point, we just obviously covered it, updated on him. But Kirsten, is it weird that there was excitement about Yurov and then it kind of went away? Like 2 years ago, he was at development camp and there was all this chatter, all this like, woohoo, yay, he's here. And it's been very silent. And maybe it's because he signed a contract with the KHL and returned, but it does seem odd that the conversation around him is kind of dampened a little bit, or lessened, I guess.
I think probably because it just took him, I mean, at least seemingly to me, it took him longer to get over here. And so maybe he's fallen off people's radars a little bit, but I'm sure that chatter will pick up closer to next season.
It'll be nice to see what he can do. Because even Kirill Kaprizov, you heard all the things that he could do and you'd maybe catch glimpses. But until you saw him that day one of camp, it was like, oh, shit. All right. We love. We think it's great. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Again, shout out to the Frost. Shout out to Joe Anderson of the Frost PR team for connecting us with Michela. Good luck to them. Very excited as they look to defend their Cup championship. Again, they'll be in St. Paul, 4 p.m. Saturday. Kirsten will be in attendance, as will I. So look forward to seeing you guys out there. That's going to do a shout out to Royal Credit Union, SotaStick, Grain Belt, Talk North. We will catch you guys later. Bye.